Christopher Hitchens, the late Christopher Hitchens, talks about Christianity's greatest blunder, cosmology. And I have to agree with him. They were wrong. The sun and the moon, the stars and planets, they don't revolve around the earth. But they were not too far off. Not as far off as modern conventional scientific man is far off. And this is my biggest argument that I have to tell the atheists. My biggest bone to pick with them is that you're wrong. You're wrong. Earth is not a planet. It's not a tiny rock in a vast, endless universe. In an insignificant galaxy somewhere. The Earth encompasses the entire finite universe, which is actually very small and tiny. Extremely, comparatively small to what you propose. Stars are very small, sonoluminescence, up in the middle of the Earth. Sun, the moon, planets are all very small. Earth is not a planet. There's a layer of glass in the sky that warped your perception of cosmology of the universe.
All the time. Religion's great strength is that it was the first of our attempts to explain reality, to make those patterns take some kind of form. It deserves credit. It was our first attempt at astronomy, our first attempt at cosmology, in some ways our first attempt at medicine, our first attempt at literature, our first attempt at philosophy. Good. While there was nothing else, it had many functional uses of that kind. Never mind that they didn't know that germs cause disease, maybe evil spirits cause disease, maybe disease is a punishment. Never mind that they believed in astrology rather than astronomy, even Thomas Aquinas believed in astrology. Never mind that they believed in devils. Never mind that things like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, tidal waves were thought of as punishments, not as natural occurrences on the cooling crust of a planet. The pattern seeking has gone too far.
Really?
And it's gone, I think,
maybe
much
not far
too
enough.
far.
Maybe not far enough.
What was until recently thought of as Christianity's greatest failure.
The greatest
of all failures.
Greatest of all failures.
Cosmology. Christianity knew nothing about.
Well, compared to your understanding of cosmology, Christianity is actually not that far off. Early Christianity. Because Earth does not rotate. There's no rotation to the Earth. So actually the Catholic Church had that part of the doctrine right about cosmology. Copernicus was wrong. There's no rotation. It's already been proven. Okay, you got Michelson-Morley, you got Airy's failure, you got the Sagnac experiment. Foucault pendulum is a flop. It only shows that there's movement. The ether is moving inside the Earth. There's the Elias effect. During eclipses, the Foucault pendulum will actually rotate the other way. See, that proves that the Earth is not spinning. If the Earth was really spinning, the pendulum during an eclipse, why would an eclipse matter? Why would an eclipse reverse the rotation of the Earth? Obviously it doesn't. There's no rotation of the Earth. So the Catholic Church had that right. They had that dogma right about the cosmology. And especially in comparison to modern atheistic scientific man, where they believe that the Earth is spinning and the universe is vast and insignificant little planet. It's not a planet in a vast, endless universe. It's more closer to the truth. The truth is that you are inside the Earth. The Earth is a shell. It's hollow, and you are living on the inside surface. Cyrus T proposed this. His information was suppressed and ridiculed, but it's the truth. And there's a layer of glass up in the sky, up in the Earth. There's a layer of glass 62 miles high that warps your perception. The glass is there. Evidentiary proof, okay? Physical, tangible evidence. Tektites, fusion crusts on meteorites, living desert glass, the way auroras happen, the way rainbows form, ham radio propagation. It's all there. Why you smell ozone, everything. Glass, literally, you can hold a piece of glass sky in your hand if you pick up a meteorite because it has fusion crust around it. Crust is not coming from the meteor. It's coming from a different source. 2 different chemical compositions. This is the big joke. This is the big joke where God becomes victorious in the end, because God is not the way atheists perceive, or even Christians perceive, whereas this omniscient quality. God is just an insignificant, appearing mortal man It just has the consciousness, the parent consciousness of everyone else's consciousness, which is a child consciousness. So, atheists, there is a God. He's not all-knowing and all-powerful. You're looking at him. He's your personal God. I've come to reclaim my world. I've come to take authority back. I'm not here to debate with you. I'm just here to take authority back of my world. You are children of my consciousness.
And taught the most abject nonsense about it. For most of its lifetime, Christianity taught that the earth itself was the center of the universe, and we had been given...
It's a lot closer than what you believe right now. It's not the center, it's the outer edge. There's a literal heaven up in the middle of the earth. Proof. If you cannot value the evidence that I give you, it's because there's a psychological block in your mind and your understanding. It's an a priori repudiation of what I have to tell you. It's the truth, though. I'm giving you physical, tangible evidence. The curvature of the earth curves the other way. This has been scientifically proven and suppressed. Rectilineator experiment, Tamarack Plumbob mineshaft experiment. You live inside the earth.
Exclusive dominion as a species over it. Could not have been more wrong.
Could not have been more wrong.
Where the new cosmology, the fantastic new discoveries.
Oh, the fantastic
new discoveries. With the old dogmas.
Really?
Well, one is the idea of this fine-tuning, about which I...
Fine-tuning? You got a lot more than fine-tuning to do.
To later in the discussion.
You got a complete overhauling to do.
This is essentially...
You live inside the earth. Earth is not a planet. It doesn't spin.
Most physicists...
It's my After Effects rendering.
Uncertain, as they have every right to be. In fact, I would say, for physicists, that as they have the duty to be, at the moment, extremely uncertain about the spatio-temporal dimensions of the original episode, the Big Bang, as it's sometimes called.
Oh, let's not talk about the... I want to just talk about the physical form of the universe. I want to talk about the origin.
Of the universe. We're viewing it from an unimaginable distance, not just an unimaginable distance.
Unimaginable. Yes, why it's... Stop. Error. Imaginable. Small. Finite. There's no light years. There's no astronomical units. Small. Everything rotates inside the earth. There's no outer space. It's inner space.
Rock in an extremely small suburb.
An insignificant rock in an extremely small... No. Guess again. Loser. Well, I'm talking to a dead man anyway.
A fairly minor galaxy, trying to look to discern our origins, but also at an unbelievable distance in time.
Unbelievable.
We claim the right to say, we can see the finger of God in this place.
Unbelievable. No, you missed it, because your hearts are revolting and gone. Jeremiah 5, verse 22. Your heart didn't have the self-humility, capitulation to realize that you don't know the answers. And sometimes you need a little faith. Sometimes you need to read the Bible. An a priori knowledge. A priori assumption. Because you're lost. You're like children without a father. And you need somebody to hold your hand. So if you really understand, read between the lines of the obfuscation recorded, encoded in the lines of Scripture. Jeremiah 5. I've created the sand as a bound of the sea by a perpetual decree. And even though the ocean waves roar, they can't pass over the sand. It's not talking about the sand of the seashore. It's talking about the sand up in the sky, which is molten sand. It's glass. See, it's a riddle. You've cast away Scripture. You've cast away religion. You didn't realize that there's subtleties. You overlooked the subtleties because your hearts are corrupt. There's bitterness. There's bitterness toward religion, toward religious authority in the past. That's what skewed Galileo. That's what skewed Copernicus. Their hearts were corrupt. That's why they accepted this ridiculous doctrine that the earth spins. It's your heart. You've overlooked the blatant obvious verses in Scripture that scientifically attest to the true form of the universe, which is small, which is inverted. Job chapter 37, verse 18. I've spread the sky as a molten-looking glass. There's glass in the sky. It's the trick. It's the trick of God. Genesis 9:13, right? He created the rainbow. The rainbow is a result of glass in the sky, which compress the atmosphere and keeps the ocean waters from flooding the continents. Scientific tokens there. I'm not omniscient. I'm just a messenger. I'm just here to tell you that I'm the Christ and I'm going to rule over you. I'm not here to debate with you philosophically. I'm here to just rule and bring in the new kingdom, bring in the new world, flush in the new generation.
Extraordinarily arrogant assumption. It either deserves a Nobel Prize in physics, which it hasn't yet got,
No, it
I
doesn't.
notice. I don't know any physicist who believes these assumptions are necessary, or it deserves a charge of hubris. Let me make
Hubris. Talk about hubris. This guy's hubris.
tiny, quick objections to it.
Pride of man shall fall, Isaiah chapter 2.
It stands that I'm no more a physicist than most of you are. I mean, these lay objections.
Well, why are you speaking for them?
Was there pre-existing material for this extra spaceship?
I don't want to talk about the origins. I just want to talk about the structure.
You run the risk with the presumption of a god and a designer and an originator of asking, well, regress. Why are there so many shooting stars?
Shooting stars because they deflect off the glass sky and up against the glass sky. That's why you see shooting stars. They're just hitting this. It's like streaking across glass and causing sparks that way. That's why you see shooting stars. Stars are small, sonoluminescence. You can make them in a laboratory. Oh God, you guys are so foolish.
Suns, failed galaxies we can see. We can see with the aid of a telescope. Sometimes we can see with the naked eye.
Oh, with the naked eye, of course, there's a glass lens that's filtering your perception. All stellar spectroscopy is flawed because of the glass sky. That's why you see shifts, color shifts in stars. It has nothing to do with expanding away from you. It has to do with a chromatic aberration due to the glass sky. Oh, you foolish people. I feel so sorry for you.
Utter failure, the total destruction of gigantic, unimaginable sweeps.
Gigantic, unimaginable. No, it's all inside the Earth. It's very tiny, okay? Galaxies are tiny. Nebula means cloud. It's a space cloud. It's about as big as a cloud.
Is this fine-tuning, or is it extremely random, capricious?
It's fine-tuning to a completely tangential aberration that you've adopted. So it's worthless, it's insignificant, it's irrelevant.
Cruel, mysterious, and incompetent.
Yeah, you're incompetent.
Have you thought of the nothingness that's coming?
The nothingness is
coming. We know we have
coming.
something now, and we speculate about what...
You don't know you have something now. You assume you have something now. Your foundational premise on the universe is completely wrong. And actually, it started from Copernicus, who was actually a priest. So your perceptions of the universe are actually fundamentally religious. Atheists, you hold a religious doctrine to the universe, and it's wrong. The sun moves inside the earth, and the sun will stop. The sun can't stop. It stopped before, 3,500 years ago. And I think it's going to stop again. I can't guarantee that, but just the way I interpret Scripture, because I confess I don't have all knowledge and understanding, and I need an aid, a priori aid of understanding. I confess my limitations. You should too.
And there's a real question about ex nihilo, but nihilo is coming to us. In the night sky, you can already see the Andromeda Galaxy. It's heading straight for ours on a collision course. Is that part of a design? Was it fine-tuned?
It's not heading for you. It's not heading... Okay. Galaxies are small. I would say the Andromeda Galaxy is probably about as big as half a city block at most. No, that's even too grand of an assumption. I would say as big as a house. Okay?
To do that, we know that from the red light shift of the Hubble telescope...
See, red light shift. I'm talking about red light shift. Actually, the red light shift is not from the Hubble telescope.
Edwin Hubble's original discovery, the universe is expanding away from itself.
See, no, it's not expanding. This is what I talked to you about. It's flawed because you're viewing it through a glass sky, a glass medium. And it's not the Hubble telescope that sees the redshift. It's beneath the atmosphere that you see the redshift.
At a tremendous rate. It was thought that rate would go down for Newtonian reasons. No, it's recently been proved by Professor Lawrence Krauss the rate of expansion is increasing.
No, there's no expansion, okay? It's chromatic aberration. It's a lens shifting, a chromatic lens shifting due to glass. That's why they stopped making glass telescopes, because of the chromatic aberration. That's why they switched to mirrored telescopes. They couldn't build the glass big enough without getting the aberration. Well, imagine this big, huge glass lens that we see the whole cosmos, or we see the whole sky from. Imagine how big that is. Imagine how much chromatic aberration is there. Oh, wait, that explains moon illusions, why the apparent size of the moon is larger than it is at the zenith. Glass. Glass explains everything. Everything that you've failed to understand about the size of the universe, the form of the universe, the motions of the universe. Retrograde motion of planets is simply epicycles. Planets are moving around the sun inside the Earth. The sun is small.
Is exploding away even faster. Nothingness is certainly coming.
See, I just completely shattered your worldview. I shattered it not because I have more knowledge than you. Far from it. It's only because I had enough faith in realizing my limitations in knowledge, in going to Scripture, and then having these prove out later on, scientifically. It's out of humility, what you have done. Your hearts. You've committed the biggest astronomical blunder scientifically you can ever possibly imagine. Your macro science is completely, 100% erroneous. Completely. This is the trick. This is the trick of God. There's ice attached to this glass. That's why you find mysterious chunks of ice falling down randomly all over the world. They call those megacriometeors. And one day soon, because I have enough humble capitulation in realizing my intelligence, my limitations of intelligence, I could say that, I can guess that all this ice is going to fall down, just like it says it's going to in the Scriptures. Isaiah 28, Isaiah 34 is going to unravel like a scroll. The heavens are going to unravel like a scroll. The ice, they're going to fall off like figs from a fig tree all over the world. Two shall be in one field, and one shall be hit by the ice, the other shall be spared. It's all there. Humble yourself, atheist. Humble yourself in acknowledging your limitations of intelligence. But not only that, in realizing that you, scientific mankind, has committed the biggest cosmological blunder you could possibly ever commit. You're pathetic. Your arrogance is pathetic as well.